What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tom here with Tom Ria Sports, and today we're back with our NFL weekly recaps, just going over Week 5 of the 2020 season, and kicking it off on Thursday night was the Buccaneers heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. Buccaneers were, I believe, 3.5-point favorites on the road. Ultimately, they lost the game, so they did not cover. We picked the Bucs, 0-1 start. Panthers-Falcons. Falcons were 1-point favorites at home. This game was a very odd game to say the least. I felt Dan Quinn was coaching for his job, really has been most of the season. Obviously, if you're up to date with football, he got fired. Thomas Dimitroff got fired after this game, and the Panthers won the game by 7, so Falcons did not cover. Next game was Raiders-Chiefs. This was a fun game, man. Really enjoyable to watch. Division matchup, always good. I felt like the spread was 12. I felt like it'd be closer than that, but it was just hard to bet against the Chiefs. So ultimately we did pick Kansas City, but Raiders not only cover, but also win the game. Big win for them. Only a game out of first place in the division now at 3-2. Cardinals-Jets. Jets look like the worst team in football. I mean, Darnold didn't play, so that's a big blow to them, but they're in a lot of trouble. Now Le'Veon Bell's been released. Gase is going to be fired at some point, whether it's the end of the season or during the season. Kyler Murray bounced back with a big performance, nearly 400 passing yards. Kenyon Drake, I think, got his first rush touchdown of the season. He's been pretty disappointing, but definitely a bounce-back game for the Cardinals as a whole. They win. They move to 3-2, and they cover the 7-point spread. So that was our first win of the week. Eagles-Steelers. This game, again, was very closer than the score might portray, a better word for it. Steelers were 9-point victors at home. They moved to 4-0. They were 7-point favorites. We picked them. They ultimately covered, so that was good for us. Rams-Washington. This game was a mess. Kyle Allen started for the benched Haskins, and then he got hurt. Then Alex Smith came in, and it was an incredible story. Still, it's hard watching him a little bit. You just kind of feel a little nervous every time he steps back. They did a lot of small passes, dink and dunk. Ultimately, though, Rams get a big victory on the road. They were 7-point favorites. We picked them. They won by 20. Obviously, a cover there. Washington's got a lot of interesting avenues to take at the quarterback position, whether they want to start Haskins again, or if Allen's healthy for this week, or if they go with Smith. I'm not really sure, but we'll see what happens there. Bengals-Ravens, man, this one really hurt me. I was so confident that the 13.5, it was originally 13.5. I think it eventually dropped down to 12, but regardless, I felt a double-digit spread for the Ravens was too much. I thought Joe Burrow and the upstart Bengals would compete. I thought it would be a much closer game. It wasn't. The Ravens defense absolutely dominated. Burrow's been getting rocked back there at quarterback. They got to shore up some things sometime soon for Burrow's health and safety. But Ravens win. They cover the 12-point spread. There's another loss for us. Jaguars-Texans. Another game that I was torn on because, usually when a team fires their coach, they always tend to play well the following week, and that's exactly what Houston did. I just thought it might be a closer game. Thought Minshew would play a little bit better. But ultimately, Houston's defense stepped up. They win a big game at home. 5.5-point favorites there. Dolphins-49ers. Wow. I mean, this game was... could maybe the most disappointing performance of the season by any team for San Francisco, I'm speaking of. They were 8-point favorites at home. I felt that was too steep. I did pick the Dolphins, so I guess I feel smart about that. But, a 26-point victory, who could have predicted that? Fitzpatrick was incredible. The defense was good. Garoppolo got benched. A lot of madness going on. Niners fall to 2-3 now. They've had a lot of health issues too, so I guess they get a little bit of a pass, but they got to be careful because they're in a really tough division, and the season could slip away real fast for them. Colts-Browns. Phillip Rivers. This is the first game I really watched him all year. I haven't paid too much attention to his individual performance, and he struggled. He did not look good at all. Apparently, that's how he's been most of the year. It's just, I don't know if they eventually move on to Brissett at all this year, if it starts to get worse. I think they play the Bengals this week, so if they lose that game, we'll see. But this was a pick'em game. I ultimately did pick the Colts. I thought their defense would step up and get the victory for them, and Rivers would make enough plays, but he did not. Mayfield played decent. The Browns they're filled with talent. It's really awesome to see them winning games right now. They're at 4-1. Hopefully they can keep it going. Giants Cowboys. This game was another fun game. I mean, obviously there's a couple devastating injuries. I mean, the Dak one was just horrible, man. I feel really, really bad for him. He's such a great guy. Off the field, on the field, everything, in a contract year too, so I hope all that works out for him. Giants were 8.5-point favorites on the road. They ultimately did cover that spread. In a close game, a game they probably should have won. They had a couple touchdowns taken away because of penalties, and they made some mental errors, and the defense didn't play too great. So a tough loss for the Giants, but big win for the Cowboys as they move to first place in the division now. Obviously without Dak the rest of the season, though, so we'll see what Andy Dalton can do. The Sunday night game, Vikings-Seahawks. This game was a lot of people were shocked that I was picking the Vikings to cover. I didn't pick them to win, but I did pick them to cover the 7-point spread. I just felt like they were playing well, and this is a game they should have won, if we're being honest. I mean, even at the end there, just kick the field goal, then you're up by 8. Worst comes to worst, you go to overtime, but they ultimately went for it, didn't work, and Russell Wilson did what he always does, just that incredible performance by him. DK Metcalf is a superstar. Seahawks are 5-0. They got to shore up their defense, but this team is a legit contender. And then the Monday night game, Chargers-Saints. Justin Herbert played fantastic. Saints were 8.5-point favorites. It was an interesting game. I mean, it's the Chargers again. It seems like they always get off to a good start. They don't really make many adjustments, and they blow a big lead. It was 20-3 at one point, then 20-10 at halftime, and then they ultimately lose in overtime. They actually had a chance to win at the end of the fourth. Mike Williams had just a monster game. He had an incredible catch, and then Badgley just missed a field goal. I believe it was wide right. Tough loss for the Chargers. Seems like their MO the last few years. They fall to 1-4, but a big win for the Saints as they remain atop of the division. And then the final game of the week, a rare Tuesday night game, only the second time ever, between the Bills and the Titans. Both teams were undefeated. I believe Bills were 3-point favorites. I actually picked them, not confidently, but ultimately Titans they played well. Their defense played probably the best it has all season. Big victory at home after the week off and a lot of other things going on in Tennessee, But they get a big victory. They move to 4-0. So ultimately not our best week in terms of pick-wise. I believe we finished 5-9. Ouch, not great stuff, but we're going to bounce back. We always do. It was a fun week to say the least. A lot of high scoring continues in the 2020 season, and we'll see what we got on tap for week 6. Make sure to tune back in Saturday. We'll have all of our picks for the upcoming week. Also, I don't believe there's a Thursday night game this week. Almost certain of that. So we'll have all of our picks on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in as always. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure to like, comment if you have any ideas for videos, and also subscribe for our daily content. Thanks, guys.